In other news, and I'm doing some more research into it, House bill has apparently been passed. I don't know if it's federal or just statewide for the right to travel. And the DMV shall issue. Yeah, the DMV shall issue. Again, I don't want to. I could pull it up here and have the team do some research. But I believe it's New Hampshire. I gotta check back in on it. They said House bill, so I'm guessing. I don't really pay much attention to this crap.
So that's only for that particular state. It's not like.
Well, yeah, but you know how this works, right? Is first they mock you and laugh at you, and then you quote unquote fight them, and then you win, right? As the famous quote goes. So all we need is one at a time, and then a cascade will occur, right? Just like anything else. So, one state signed on to banning chemtrails and made it a felony, and now it's like 5 states, 8 states, and then, they're calling for 25 states now. So, I think that we're seeing a lot of this stuff that we've talked about, put the awareness out, coming to fruition, and it's going to happen one at a time, right? One person at a time, one state at a time. I got it here. RSA 382A9. The automobile is private property defined by current RSA 382A9 and is not for commercial use. The bill restates this and reminds law enforcement officials. Goes on to state that the DMV shall issue the proper credentials, ID rather than a license, and an exempt plate. So, wow. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, man. The quote here is Article 8 in New Hampshire Bill of Rights, by their silence and failure to fully inform the sovereign people. Yeah, please. He interrupted me, reminding all the slaves who denied the reality that I've been living in for years because they can't see the vision. New Hampshire bill restates, reminds law enforcement officials the right to travel, and requires the Department of Safety to provide at no cost to all non-commercial automobiles and non-commercial conveyance owners a decal and identification card that states the holder is exempt from registering his or her automobile or other private conveyance under superior authority. So that's all. Did you hear that,
rights Flow State? Freedoms, in your face, Flow State.
Will be a reality, even if I have to keep screaming, yelling, cursing, and destroying my own body.
What did the great powdered Rusty come up here?
Well, I was looking at that New Hampshire bill. That's from 2018, and it's dead.
Oh, you came to go against. Oh, I see what's going on here.
Yeah, the article that I was quoting is from 2024, but I did relook at it. It was introduced 2019, I believe.
And how's that going?
It's again, I get that you see, like, you're doing it again, right? I get that you don't want any of us to have any kind of passions or dreams or anything that we're like.
I would actually love for you to be right here.
So if you would love for me to be right here, the way for me to be right here and all of us to be right here is to do what's right here, not to sit around doubting everyone else who's attempting to move toward an idea that's time has come, right?
Well, I mean, it would be easier for me not
to doubt you if you weren't lying about it.
How am I lying about it? You presented it as if you just scored a new win. Really, what you did is you just found out about something that's 7 years old.
No, I said I have to look into it deeper. It was sent to me by one of the sources, and when I've checked on it, I was going to mention it when I do my next broadcast, that it has been introduced, but is from a while back. I don't need to lie about it. Again, this isn't about me winning. This is about the cause, right? You want to make this about loyalty to me. It's about loyalty to the cause, see? It's the same as saying, I didn't win because during Slavid-19 for 4 years, I went to jail 2 or 3 times for not wearing a mask and gave up my job to start a broadcast that became successful and created value for myself and many. I didn't win because people didn't believe in it. Everyone didn't join the cause or didn't believe in it, right? So I've already won because I've decided to actualize and realize on what I know to be true for me, whether it's true for everyone else or not, and move toward that idea. If you want to call it my truth rather than the truth, that's fine. Again, it seems that you always have something negative to say about me and what I'm doing, and some competition you always want to engage in, rather than be part of the movement and be loyal to the cause and work with me and others to make it a reality. You'd rather sit on the sidelines and bash me and what I'm talking about. And again, just the fact that even 6 or 7 years ago it was introduced as a bill in some Congress somewhere proves it's not a sob-sit fantasy. So again, most of these trees that are going to be planted, we may never sit under. That's how this works. So, you know, over the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, more and more of these ideas are going to be forced into the mainstream because more and more the system's going to lock down on your ass and put the fire to you. So you're going to have no choice but to either bend over and cuck or actually stand for something in your life, right? I look forward to that day when you finally become that.
So I'm sharing a screen, OTW. It's this live stream that you're on from, right after Paul started talking to me. It was about you. I didn't start the competition. Again, I was talking to Snafu, and you had to jump in and go to you slaves who doubted me. So we can watch that if you want, because it just happened.
That's fine. I may have said that to be a bit sort of, you know, I don't want to say inflammatory, but to accentuate a bit, right? To trigger, which you may be right on that. I may be better off staying away from that kind of language and that kind of energy because it may not serve me and others. It may not be necessary either, right? What is necessary is to do the next right thing, inspire others to do the same, and put up or shut up, right? So if that's what you want me to concede to, that's perfectly fine. Again, I still take it if you want to see it as wins and losses. I don't necessarily see it that way, but if you want to take it that way, I still see it as a win because the more that we push the line and the more that we remind people, I got a video from just yesterday of a man talking with police where he acknowledges he's seen the bulletins and he's heard about Colorado not enforcing traffic infractions. And the same is going on where I live. Another person who I speak with spoke to police yesterday around here and says that they're starting to not enforce traffic infractions. They're not arresting for them and they're not stopping people for them, which to me is a win because they're not supposed to be using their emergency lights to pull cars over. I don't know where that started or why everyone believes in that. That was never a thing. It never should have been a thing. And more we're going to push into the awareness of folks one at a time that they're using emergency lights unlawfully to force contracts, which is what's going on, right? So it's one piece at a time. It's a long game. It's probably not going to happen all at once. If it happens at all, you know, ubiquitously, it is going to happen certain places at certain times because it already has. And I know you make fun of me for saying that I was, you know, a person who went viral and got 10 million views doing what I do on Denver and then saw a cascade of folks not following the traffic code anymore. But I really believe that. That might make me delusional, or that just means I'm inspired to be part of a movement whose time has come.
Yeah, and I've never had any.
Shout out to the Pale Horse Rider for this $5 super sticker. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good round of applause for that.
Right. Taylor, I've told you from the beginning, right? Regardless of whether I like you or not, respect what you do or not, I've told you from the beginning, and I will maintain, I believe that a lot of us are brought here because we're kindred spirits, and away from the garbage at our core, we have the same desires, the same will, the same understanding of what should be and what's necessary and proper. The difference is who's going to attempt to carry that banner and inspire themselves and others to make the change, and who are going to sit on the sidelines and just hate, right? So I would prefer if you and others would be a part of the change in whatever way that you believe possible, because you started this interaction off by saying you would love for me to be right. It's not about right or wrong. It's about making the change. And the only way the change is going to happen is if people force the narrative into the mainstream by standing for something. I don't care if it's COVID-19, pick something, land tax, right? Whatever it is.
If you try to force the topic into the narrative by trying to score a win on something that you didn't realize is 7 years old, that makes you easy to discredit. So
It's not 7 years old. Yes, it was implemented and started to hit the mainstream and talked into things. But the fact that article is 2024 is because right now, as we speak, I could pull up videos of that exact topic that was in Congress this week.
it was in
Okay.
Right. The
Congress.
point is there's only one moment now, and that we're not going to sit here and go, well, 7 years ago. We can go back 700 years ago, and the same loop was playing. So what's your point, right? The reality is there's a dual jurisdiction here. There's a dual reality here, and the only way one reality is going to overtake the other is if we embody that. That's all that what I'm doing is about. It's not
Taylor,
about.
Let me ask Taylor a question. Is there anything Paul could do or say that you would be on board with and not want
No, because I've been arrested 6 times in 5 years and got dismissals on all of them, and all he could say was I ratted on people and tell outright lies, Mr. Easy to discredit, right? Instead of say, wow, maybe Paulie has picked something up studying.
Discredited that.
Again, you can't make a statement you can't prove and then tell me I'm being discredited when you just outright presumed and assumed something instead of I already have. If you go to the last time I was arrested, I posted for you and other naysayers and haters. See, we're looping again. It's amazing how I could take a month off this place, come back, and it's still the same characters. Dude, you did the same thing with Andrew Wilson, and we all saw the clip. You were embarrassing. The look on your face was pathetic. He trounced you, and you discredited yourself. So again, the post is up. You won't see it and acknowledge it because you want to run a years long, 5 years at this point long, non-petition with me instead of just conceding to the fact. This is why I laughed the other day when Joe Cool said somewhere, he said, you are a credible person because you admit when you're wrong. You're not, and you don't, because right now, OTW can pull it up right now. The screenshot of the actual case with the case number, the judge's name and everything else saying nolo prosecute, as they say in Latin, meaning they will not prosecute me. The prosecutor wouldn't even interact during the hearing because they know that I know the difference between legal and lawful and how to move a court. So again, after 6 of those, you would think that somebody would say, you know what, whether I like him or not, respect him or not, maybe he's picked some stuff up studying the law. Maybe he's gotten some results. But you're not honorable and good faith enough to do that.
What evidence have you shown that you were able to win at court versus that you got it dismissed because you cooperated at jail?
How am I cooperating? I'm not involved in criminal enterprise. I don't deal with anybody who does anything.
I don't know what you do on your time off.
You don't know what I do, but you're more than willing to presume and assume all of the worst about me and all of the negatives instead of presume and assume that what I'm presenting is in fact truth. Right. So how does that work? If you're not biased, how does it work that if you don't know, you don't have to give me the benefit of the doubt. You just don't turn your doubts into false claims and then claim I'm being discredited. Just say you don't know. Saying you don't know is not the same as saying
1,000 times.
Right. And then presuming I'm cooperating.
Since I got both you guys up here, I'm just curious. What is it about Paul specifically that bothers you the most?
We know what it is. It's about the fact that I've done something that he can't or won't. It's not that he can't, he won't, because he's not well spoken and he's a coward. He can't move a court to get his guns back. Excuse me?
I'm just because I saw what you did here. Like the fact
he's doing it again now. This is all that he does. He's been called out many times, many places. He still hasn't learned. This is all he does is try to presume and assume the negative, make false claims, be bad faith and dishonorable, and try to turn it into non-intent. It's old and boring, dude. It has been for years.
I'm just saying, I get what you're trying to say. That's old, but it's actually relevant, Taylor, because they did just have Congress meetings on that exact subject 2-3 days ago.
It's constantly in flux, right? There's constantly an ebb and flow there. It's constantly
on that subject, yeah.
A tug of war, so to speak, right? So again, you can say that I cooperated and ratted out people 6 times. I don't have anyone to do that with, and I didn't do it when I was on drugs. So maybe it's projection because like you were drug dealing and whatever, and maybe you've ratted and cooperated before, so you're projecting that I do that. I've never done that, and I'll never say what I'll never do again because I have and I've been wrong, but I probably will never do that. That defeats the purpose of what I do. I don't do what I do to get out of the trouble when I get into it. I do what I do so when I get into the trouble, I can get myself out on my own with the truth. No, with the truth, right? Not get out of it by cutting corners and being dishonorable in bad faith. You're doing that
not
now.
Cutting corners, like not looking at the fucking article that you're citing as a win.
If you see, you like to cherry pick. The first thing I said was I have to look deeper into it. I have to look deeper into it because it was sent to me recently and I didn't do my due diligence yet. So the first statement that I made was a proviso that I don't have.
I was listening.
Of course. So if you didn't hear it or see it, it didn't happen. That's another bad habit you have. I can
only interact with the things that I heard. I didn't hear everything you said this whole stream.
So you either choose to not hear it.
When I showed up and you started talking to me, you didn't say it then. You
right. So that's proof of your foolishness. That once again, you would make a statement without knowing the whole shot. You probably should have went back and listened to the whole of this.
Talking to me, you did not say that.
Right. But you see, we're now running in circles with you playing bitch logic games. This is how you get under people's skin.
You want me to run back 3 or 4 hours worth of stream and see?
It's not 3 or 4 hours. It was 3 minutes before you heard me talk about it. I made the proviso, but you didn't do your due diligence to go back 3 minutes to listen to the whole statement, so you could avoid being dishonorable and bad faith because you don't care about the truth. You don't care about your
what you said to me.
That'll be 20 minutes for flow state.
Right. Like he still doesn't get that beyond the 40 people who come over in his area, which I haven't been there in months now. Most people don't like him. They don't respect.
All right.
Most people don't like him. They don't respect him. They don't think he's credible, good faith, or honorable. And he's rapidly setting a tone for his reputation everywhere.
Well, dude, I don't know.
Red,
he did the same thing with me.
Hold on a second, Snaps. Red is pointing it out here. He pulled you back in, Paul.
Yeah, he's demonic.
No.
That's the bottom line.
I don't think
At the end of the day, he's got to live with himself and his karma and what he speaks and the life he's created for himself. That's punishment enough. Right? Imagine being so hateful and bitter and resentful that I've been away for a month, I come back, and as soon as you see and hear me, you have to jump up and try to project onto me and start fights and arguments with me, and then can't even prove your case.
About an article that has meaning, bro. It doesn't matter if it happened 7 years ago or not. The fact that subject is still, like I told him, I could pull court records or Congress records right now where they talked about that exact subject 2 days ago. He came in here trying to discredit Paul, saying, oh, the article's old, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, these are important subjects that we're dealing with right now as we speak, 2025.
It's about the troll.
Right.
He's admitted it when he was with Andrew Wilson. That's what he does. That's his thing. That's his shtick. That's how he generates the drama. You know, if you haven't recognized the loop by now, Snafu, you know, it's about time you start to wake up.